Consistent pitcher for the Tide, logging the most innings, and he's going to have to strap it on against a very good LSU offense.
Lefty versus righty as White will lead things off, and the first pitch misses high for ball one. The St. Pete Beach native, Tommy White. So good last year, and some numbers again this year that have him among the best in the conference. Long ball, something he can do out of the top spot of the order with 19 home runs on the season. Hits that one sharply to short, gobbled up easily there by LeBron, and talented freshman for the Crimson Tide. So good right there, getting the first out of the ball game. Silky smooth is Justin LeBron, 343 hitter, 11 homers, 33 RBIs, but it's with the glove. They knew he would be good. He certainly has been.
He's been a tremendous freshman. Coach Rob Vaughn continues to tell us as a freshman he's got such a slow heartbeat, doesn't get too hurried, and he's been a guy that has been in the middle of the lineup and produced for the Tide.
Jared Jones can't connect with a first pitch. Jones, a 301 hitter on the year. 21 homers, leads the club. He's also got 44 RBIs on the season. Another big, strong first baseman. They've had a few of those over the years in Baton Rouge. Can't connect with that one as Ferrone gets ahead 0-2. See the numbers from a power department up a little bit so far this year, as that one misses low.
And Greg Ferrone going to see a lot of fastballs in the 92, 94. You saw one earlier, saw him flip a slider in there, one he's really relied on and started to have a lot more confidence in.
The Louisville transfer misses outside to even count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. He was not expected to be the Friday guy. In fact, they thought maybe Sunday at best, frankly, when the season started. But with Riley Quick, Hagan Banks going down for Bama, things changed, and so too did this at bat. Very quickly, Jones goes from down 0-2 to make it go 1-0 LSU. The Tigers on top after the 22nd home run of the year from Jared Jones. I don't think he missed any of that one, partner.
That was straight cooked over the bullpen. That's an elevate and celebrate, no doubter.
That one easily 420 plus. And yeah, no doubt when it left his bat, and really no more than a courtesy look from TJ McCants in center on that one. So the Tigers grab the early 1-0 advantage. And here's Josh Pearson, who takes a breaking ball for a strike. Plate umpire is Seth Buckminster tonight. David Savage is at first. Mayhew Edwards is at second, and rounding out the crew at third, Alfredo Burkeen. Breaking ball misses.
You just saw Tommy White and Jared Jones. Chris talked a lot about all their stats, but don't let Josh Pearson's stats outside of those fool you. Coach Johnson has raved over him. He says he may not be 3 for 4. He's a guy that's going to might give you one hit, but it's in one of the most high leverage moments, and that's why he's batting in the 3 spot.
243 is the season average with only 6 homers and the 20 RBIs, as we talked about. But as you said, big in the clutch as he fights that one off, and the count stays at a ball and 2 strikes. Bama going with 2-strike shift to a left-handed batter with a lefty on the hill. Another 1-2, and that one just missed the spot. How tough is it for a hitter when that release point, if you're over the top, is coming from sunshine and it's very rapidly in shade?
That is a tough look. Tall guy like Greg Ferrone in an arm slot like that, it's hard to pick it up already. And when you see that, you can see that shade spot right there. It takes a couple of, got to pick up a box see a box to get that slot where that ball's getting picked up.
Fights off another 2-strike pitch, and the count remains 3-2. They're making him work a good bit early on. Fifteen pitches are right around that number through the first 3 batters, and that one's going to be popped up shallow left field. Battling the sun, making the play, and recording the second out is Ian Petrutz, and there are indeed 2 gone for the Tigers here in the top half of inning number 1.
Jared Jones getting that solo shot. Greg Ferrone steps back on the hill and responds, getting an out. Solo shots typically won't beat you. Be interested if he can shut the door on this first inning.
So 2 gone, and Hayden Travinski stands in. Breaking ball misses up to start this at bat for the Shreveport native. Always a luxury. They will get players from all over the nation, but they don't have to look very far outside their home state to find a dearth of talent. It's been that way for years. And that's not just baseball talent. That is mustache talent right there from Travinski. Does take the breaking ball for a strike.
With a little extra under it.
That's impressive as someone who's only attempted within the last year. I'm highly impressed. Little roller out to second. That'll be gobbled up there by Eblin, and he'll make the play to first in time for out number both offensively and with the glove. And there is the guy that'll be trying to limit Gage Miller. How about that? Gage and Gage. Gage Jump is the lefty on the hill for the Tigers. Miller upset as he pops that one up mile high, battling the sun and making a very nice play is Braswell at short. There's not anything but routine right now on infield pop-ups.
Especially in this sky, we talked about it earlier, you know, this type clear sky. LSU still getting used to the elements. Still got to concentrate and play simple baseball.
So 1 gone, and Ian Petrutz will stand in for the Tide. .330 hitter in his first year in Tuscaloosa. And a little chopper to the right side. That's going to get through. A nice effort from Milam, but he couldn't get leather on it. And Petrutz able to bounce that one through the infield. Put the Tig run at first here in the home half of inning number 1. And this one beat into the ground and just had a feeling from the start it was going to get through.
Always like that as a hitter. Always a drier surface at the front of that area. Tends to get that ball through the infield a little bit quicker, and it pays off for Petrutz.
So a man at first now with 1 out. And one of the top freshmen in the nation. Justin LeBron standing in, swings and misses the first pitch. You see his numbers. I mean, you just look at the face. He looks like a kid that should be playing in Williamsport. I mean, that is a young-looking freshman there for the Crimson Tide. But, man, he has played like a veteran this year as that one's going to get out of play, and the count will go to 0-2.
And Coach Rob Vaughn's raved about Justin LeBron. Started him at lower in the lineup beginning of the year to get his feet wet, but found out he just kept putting good at-bats together, which is just sometimes a little uncommon for a freshman, especially hitting against SEC pitching. Justin LeBron, halfway through the SEC year, has now been moved to the 3 slot and continued to produce.
It's that one on the ground. They'll get the force at second. Can't get the double play, though, as LeBron runs way too well, and that one was not exactly smoked off the bat, so maybe an advantage for him there that it wasn't hit as well. But even that at bat shows that he has grown and developed as a hitter just to get a 2-strike pitch in play.
And Justin LeBron continues to put good at bats together. Now being in the 3 spot, that just tells you how much confidence Coach Rob Vaughn has in him, and he's continued to carry a strong glove too in the field.
Will Hodo, the Waynesville, Mississippi native, takes a called strike to begin his at-bat. Hitting in the cleanup spot tonight, 283 average. He's got 11 homers in 36 RBIs. Fastball at the belt, right down the heart of the plate to quickly get ahead 0-2. So that's back-to-back hitters that Jump has been able to get ahead of. Heavily shaded to the right side is that LSU infield. And a swing and a miss. He got him on 3 straight, and the side is retired. Impressive.
From the SEC and just what makes this league so tough. Where LSU is right now in the league standings, you got to believe that Jay Johnson, having that background, knows that they can right the ship, and there's still a lot to play for in resume building.
Had great success at Arizona, but one of the certainly elite programs, if not the most elite program in the last 30 years. Certainly LSU has been tremendous as Ashton Larson flies out to begin the second for Coach Johnson's Tigers. A natural fit, a guy who'd won and had done so maybe out west, but just as the guy he followed, Paul Maneri, had not been an LSU guy either. Successful at Notre Dame, but turned out to be a great fit, won a title in Baton Rouge, and Jay Johnson getting it done in year number 2. But finding out, as Mississippi State and Ole Miss did in the previous 2 seasons, you know what? Not easy in the SEC to follow up a title season, as that one's hit off the fist by Braswell and grabbed at second by Alabama's Bryce Evelyn. Yeah, if you want to be good the next year, don't win it all this year. Mississippi State missed the tournament after winning it all. The same for Ole Miss, and LSU, at least right now, projected to be out, but they got a lot to say about all of that here in the next couple of weeks. They could fix that rather quickly, as Steve Milam, again the reigning SEC Freshman of the Week, or one of them anyway, stands in, the New Mexico native. 3 homers on the year with 26 runs batted in. 2 gone, nobody aboard, as Ferrone deals another strike to even the count at 1-1.
Chris, you talked about Coach Johnson stepping in the deep waters into LSU. Doesn't hurt to have Coach, the legendary Skip Bertman, talked about how he still gets to pick his brain, has great encounters with Coach Bertman, and kind of he talked to him when they were going through this 3-12 in the SEC, and he just talked about how Skip Bertman was talking a lot about you'll start getting more good fortune. And for the teams that are on the other side, we know what that means. Most teams know what that means. There's magic that happens at LSU. And Coach Skip Bertman was one of those legendary coaches that just with baseball, you just continue to play regardless of the record, you're going to have a chance.
Scene 2 of the purple and gold, that's for sure, especially in Baton Rouge. They start playing hold that Tiger. It's normally too late. That Tiger's already got hold of you. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, and the pitch to Milam misses high and away.
Good response inning from Greg Ferrone. Controlling his fastball. That's always been the recipe for a good outing for him, is locating fastball and being able to throw the slider late in the count.
Problem is, though, and that's part of the SEC, you make a mistake, even with 2 strikes, you'll pay for it. That's what happened in the first with Jared Jones down in the count, but a 2-strike rocket over the left center field wall got us where we are now, 1-0. That one's lifted foul ground. May stay in play, though. Hodo giving it a look near the fence. Did he make the catch? He did. Wow, what a grab. Glad to have you with us here at Sewell Thomas Stadium. They call it the Joe. And the Tide's been very good here this year, but LSU has been very good as of late. 6-3 conference mark the last 3 series, and also able to win all 3 of those after sitting at 3-12 at one point. Now they're back in an NCAA regional picture, or at least where they can get some work done to get there. Cade Snell with a 1-1 count, able to chop this one back up the middle. That's going to be gloved at second. A beautiful play, and then dug out nicely at first by Jones. Milam to Jones, who has been the early star in this one, the home run to give LSU the current 1-zip advantage, but also a little web jib there on the short hop at first.
Milam showing you why he was SEC Freshman of the Week. Flashing the leather right there, and a little dig job out there by Jared Jones.
Nice help from the first baseman as TJ McCants will stand in. Able to lay down the bunt and not get hit, and misplayed. And I'll be honest, I don't know if Gage Jump is going to be able to make that play to get McCants in time anyway, but left it on the carpet, couldn't make the throw, and it'll be an infield single for the Alabama center fielder.
Not sure right here if that was a called bunt or if that was one where TJ saw an opportunity to lay one down, and that's one of those where, as a veteran hitter, you see Gage Jump getting really comfortable the first couple of hitters, and you change it up right there, and now you got a guy on base.
McCants so dangerous as Matt Gassetti stands in, and we showed you the graphic earlier. He has been really, really tough the last couple of weeks for the Crimson Tide, but McCants with 13 homers, but also blazing speed when he does lay one down like that, as pitch is fouled off, and the count quickly goes to 0-2.
Gassetti's stat lines have really started to take off post A&M series. He had 2 grand slams. The power surge has started for him, and Tide is hoping to see that continue.
That's a nice frame by Milazzo, the catcher, but pitch just missed. And there you see the last 11 have been very, very good to Gassetti. The 1-2, but first a throw to keep McCants close to the bag.
Back to Gage Jump. We didn't really talk about his pitches. Fastball's probably going to sit in that 90-92. Not overwhelming, but the report on him is the fastball has riding action. As you see right there, you've got to get above it, and when you see it above the letters, you have to find a way to lay off that. It's a hard pitch to hit.
Boy, this one was moving when it got there, but also, as you said, elevated as it's approaching the plate. Very tough for Gassetti to get on top of it. And Jump, who's been really good over the last 3 starts, continues to cut him up pretty well.
24K stat line versus 1 walk will keep you pitching on Friday night.
William Hameter, who had been a mainstay in the lineup for Alabama his first 2 seasons, not as much last year, and hardly saw him at all this year. And then last weekend, when the stomach bug rolled through the Bama locker room, he got an opportunity, and man, has he made the most of it. Really, the last 2 to 3 weeks, he has stepped it up and been impressive. As the runner goes, the pitch misses, and the throw to second will bounce away and get into center field. McCants didn't see it, though, and he will stay at second, but now in a spot where a 2-out single could easily get him home from second.
It's a good aggressive count, and with 2 outs right there, with Gage Jump getting comfortable on the mound, good opportunity to run. Ended up being an off-speed pitch. I think he probably would have been there even with a clean catch.
So 1 ball, 1 strike now to Hameter with the tying run in scoring position. And that one will get out of play, I do believe, and yes, it will, down the left field line.
Chris, you were talking about William Hameter, senior, Coach Rob Vaughn just said he's been a professional, even when not in the lineup, giving good at-bats, even when coming off the bench. The average, the RBIs, the homers weren't showing up, but he was still the first left-handed bat off the bench. And then he got his opportunity against Mississippi State and then rolled that into the Troy weekend where he hit 2 home runs.
A wheel and a throw to second a little bit late. Yeah, Hamiter, a Tuscaloosa guy, played at Northridge High School. Ironically, for former Alabama head coach Jim Wells. He was an assistant at LSU under Skip Burtman a few years ago. Okay, several. I was being kind to both Coach Burtman and Coach Wells.
There's a lot of connections over this weekend that we're sure to get into with LSU and Alabama baseball.
2 out, a man at second. That's the tying run here in inning number 2. 2-2 pitch almost clipped him. And now it's a full count to Hamiter.
You can see again, we talked about Gage Jump's fastball has rising action, also has run on those lefties. He's just a fastball slider guy for the most part, but you can see his reliance on fastball and location and movement.
That one is belted towards center field. Well hit. Going back. Kling at the warning track. Wall reaches up. Can't make the grab. Hamiter hustling out of the box. He's going around second. He'll dig for third. He'll arrive standing. It's a 2-out RBI triple for William Hamiter. And Alabama has tied it up here in the second at 1 apiece. Boy, he needed that wind to blow just a little bit more. In fact, looking at the flag right now in right center, it has basically stopped blowing, but about 30 seconds earlier, it was blowing enough, I thought, to get it out. But it died down at the right moment for LSU, saved them a run.
Looked like a slider that just hung up in the zone. Hamiter sitting 2 strike, just trying to stay in the middle of the field, got one up in the zone. If only it would have been a wooden fence.
Great effort from Kling, just could not get the leather on it as Bryce Eblett will stand in, and he takes strike 1. You go from 1 down to now having to go ahead run 90 feet away as Hamiter stands at third base with his second triple of the year. That one's fisted up the middle, gloved by Milam. Tough play, but he makes it easily.
It's typically your Friday night guy in the 60% fastballs, and that also goes to his location, is typically really good on those and really has relied on slider. And for Greg Ferrone, big Friday night start for him to go as long as he can in this game to keep depth for that bullpen.
He's worked extremely hard, but it's another example of just how good Jason Jackson, the pitching coach, is for the Crimson Tide. Of course, well documented, took over last year as the interim head coach, back third of the season, and led the Tide to a super regional berth. This year, first hire that Rob Vaughn makes when he gets the head coaching job at the University of Alabama, as he makes sure he keeps JJ in Tuscaloosa and on the Alabama staff. And Coach Vaughn says, man, I'll let him deal with the pitchers. I may have a suggestion here or there, but it's his staff. He doesn't need my help. He knows what he's doing as well as anybody in the country. And there you see a guy who's as respected as anybody in any sport in the Alabama athletic department. Well thought of and well deserved to have that level of respect.
And Chris brought up interim tag last year with everything that was going through these players that we're dealing with. Coach Jackson brings more of an element other than knowing the mechanics and teaching a kid how to pitch, but he finds ways to get the best out of you, gets the attitude and belief that a coach, you can't put that together. There's no magic for that, and Coach Jackson has that for all those pitchers.
After Paxton Kling flies out to right, you see the numbers for JJ and some of the bio information. Not just a regional, but a regional title for the first time since 2010. It was a heck of an accomplishment just to get that team to the postseason, but to get them all the way to a super regional against a tremendous top seed in Wake Forest. Had to face them on the road. Came up short after almost getting them in game one, which really could have changed the dynamic of that series tremendously.
It's been a while since the Tide has hosted a regional, and that just sent a jolt of energy for all those Alabama baseball fans being at the house for postseason play.
Of course, LSU was going ho-hum. We just went back to Omaha again and won the whole thing with another coach. They have been the standard for the last 30-plus years in the SEC, as LeBron feels that one so smooth. And again, not taking it for granted from the Alabama perspective, David, but they knew he could do that when he signed. What they didn't know is that he'd be able to swing the bat the way he has at a 343 clip this deep in the year with 11 homers and more than 30 RBIs.
I think for Coach Rob Vaughn, obviously Justin LeBron being a freshman, you were expecting to have some growing pains, to have some high points and going through the valley of struggling. Justin LeBron really hasn't been in any type of valley hitting and playing defense. He's just been consistent each and every day and playing like a junior and senior.
Back to the top of the order again, and Tommy White, who in his first at bat for the Tigers, grounded out to short. Head in the count here, though, 2-0. And a nice breaking ball to get it to 2-1. Boy, that's such a dangerous spot against White, 2-0. He's such a major part of their run to the national championship last year.
Just made him so much better. He was already a great hitter transferring from North Carolina State. Had Dylan Cruz backed up next to him. He had some protection, and now Jay Johnson says, you know, I'm going to lead him off, give him the best opportunity to get on base. He's had him and Jared Jones have led the Tigers offensively.
Breaking ball misses in the dirt as the count runs full now, 3-2, and he does have Jones waiting in the on-deck circle if he can reach and extend this top half of inning number 3. There you see Jones, who gave the Tigers at the time a 1-0 advantage. Even now, 1 apiece. And the third inning will continue on as White takes the breaking ball.
Just absolutely cranked that one out to give the Tigers the early lead.
See the 22nd and 45th RBIs of the year for Jones in that last at bat as he takes ball 1. Ferrone can touch mid-90s with the fastball from the left side. That one goes to 92. Normally he's in that 92-94 range when it's cooking. He'll drop to 89, but still pretty effective depending on where he's locating things.
That's what we talked about earlier in this segment, his reliance on fastball. And for all you pitchers, young pitchers out there, still get guys out with the velocity is important, but location is even more important. And you saw that in that last fastball at 2-0 where he painted it at 92. You're exactly right, Chris. He can run it up there, but 95 right down the middle is not going to win you many games either.
Struggling a little bit finding the zone at the moment, though. He issued a walk to White, and now he's down 3-1 to Jones, and we don't want to give him a base, but also has to be careful as he's already seen to Jones. Boy, he had the home run cut again right there, but it was right over the top of that breaking ball. Was that the slider or was that the curve?
Looked like a slider right there, and Jared Jones sitting dead red, cheating on fastball, hoping he was going to get it. Now he's got to battle up with 2 strikes.
Payoff, hit sharply. That's inside the bag, and that's going to get out in the corner. And White churning towards third base. They're going to wave him home. The throw's going to be cut off. There will be no play at the plate. The Tigers with a 2-out rally able to regain the lead. 2-1, and it has been Jared Jones who's done the job. A solo homer and now a 2-out double down the line to give the Tigers the lead again.
Looked like a slider down in the zone. Jones went and got it, kept the bat in the zone. Good piece of hitting right there. He continues to swing a hot bat tonight.
To join us, Coach. Our luck, we have to talk to you after a tough play like that, but if you could just tell us what you saw with White missing the bag at third base. Did he stumble? Did he just miss? What did you see?
Yeah, he stepped right over it. Third base coach has got to be down the line, and it was a tough timing of it when the guy bobbled it. Tommy's not a great runner. It's the only thing he doesn't do great, and I don't know if Coach Jordan, sending him after he saw the bobble if he misstepped.
Coach, this is David. Want to talk to you about Gage Jump. Friday night start, keeping the game close. Can you talk about his start and how important it is to keep this game close?
Yeah, I mean, I would take him over anybody that we've seen. I think he's one of the best pitchers in the league. He's certainly pitched that way the last few weeks, and we feel great when Gage is pitching for us.
Coach, you're gracious, generous with your time. We appreciate it so much. Thank you so much. Jay Johnson, the head coach of the LSU Tigers. Unbelievable run last year to win the national championship in his second year in Baton Rouge, and the Tigers battling to try to get back in the national title picture again. Let's look at it again, David. And Alabama saw it clearly. They felt like he had missed third base, and that is the case, and you could see the reaction. He's like, uh-oh, I just missed the step. And that's a pretty good eye from the Bama dugout to pick that up as Miller chops this one to third. White makes the easy play there for the out.
It's just a sick feeling, you could tell. Missing the bag, Tommy White, but for Coach Johnson and the Tigers, you thought you kept the inning going, you're up 2-1, and then oh wait, you reversed that. So pivotal play, unfortunately, going the wrong way for the Tigers.
But very quickly they get the first out, and Alabama will bring Ian Petrutz to the plate. He singled through the middle of the infield his first time up. 5 homers, 37 RBIs, and another veteran that Rob Vaughn was able to add to the roster. Again, this is the day and age of transfers being the rule rather than the exception, it seems, these days, as he takes that breaking ball for strike one. But Petrutz at 6 feet 210, a junior from New Jersey, came with Coach Vaughn from the University of Maryland. Ahead 3-1 now, and look, really good ball player, but it's more of the attitude and demeanor, especially in the clubhouse, I think, that helps set the tone for what Bama baseball under Rob Vaughn can look like. Because a coach can coach and teach, but when you've got a guy that understands already and is bought into the way you want things done, that's got to help.
It does, and Petrutz is one of those keystone type of players, guys that you can rally behind. You're in a day and age like you talked about, Chris, and transferring, you got new guys coming in. Back just a few years ago, you may have had only 1 or 2 transfers a year, but you're seeing more and more of it, and having some good culture, camaraderie amongst your squad is very important, and I think Coach Rob Vaughn is lighting a fire into that one too, and he believes it.
So 2 out quickly, and Justin LeBron standing in. Bama shortstop hit into a fielder's choice, his last and first time up. 1-1 game. I forgot it was taken off the board for a split second, but 1-1 still our score. as the Tide tries to take its first lead of the day here. 2 outs, nobody on, and an 0-2 pitch to LeBron. Lifts it foul and out of play right side.
Gage jump outside of that hanging slider to William Hammeter's been, for the most part, flawless. Starting out, relocated his fastball. Slider's been where it needed to be. See if he can continue that.
Bama's got 3 hits so far, but only the 1 run. LSU with a homer to produce their only run thus far. And the only 2 hits have come from Jared Jones.
We talk about Friday nights, how important every SEC game is, but especially on Friday night, you set the table for the entire weekend. Gage jump, the prior 2 weekends against Auburn and Missouri, went 7 innings in wins on those games, and they need that tonight.
Off to a great plus. Here's Josh Pearson leading it off. He was at the plate when what we thought was the go-ahead run for the Tigers was taken off the board. He officially did not come to the plate, but he was definitely standing in the box when Bama appealed at third and able to get Tommy White, because he had failed to touch third base. Rounding it, heading for home, would have scored otherwise on the double off the bat of Jared Jones. Both of their hits have come from Jones, a solo homer and a should have been RBI double that instead became just a double. 2 balls and a strike now to Pearson, who flew out to left field his first at bat. Lifts that one foul and out of play left side.
Good start for both Ferrone and Jump. This is a prototypical Friday night close game. Who can get a hit to go up just a couple of runs? We talked about how precious each SEC game is. Every run on a Friday night is tough to get.
Tell you what, I would imagine Ian Petrutz is going, look, I want to be involved in the game, but if they want to hit everything on the infield or to the right side for the next inning and a half, I'd be fine with it. That one is smoked, sinking towards left center field, and that is run down by McCants. I said it was sinking, and I was completely wrong. It was smoked. And yeah, gravity was kicking in, but it was over McCants' head, or so it appeared, before he reached up at the last moment and snared it, with that sun making it very tough to see. He did start in, and that's why he had to go back so quickly.
Chris, that's what you call athleticism, which you and I are up here in the booth watching guys like that do.
You were on
make great plays.
You were on scholarship to play SEC baseball in this stadium. It's a miracle I could work the elevator and make it to the booth every time. McCants says, man, I misread that. But again, that's what we were, talking about Petrutz, but also the sun making it tough, obviously, for McCants as well.
And to your point, that left field where the sun is setting is that type of sinking line drive, not a high pop-up, but one hit right at you that's got more of a line drive action to it is really hard to pick up for the left fielder. You saw it's a little bit harder for TJ McCants too, but he made a good reaction.
Travinsky didn't have to battle the sun, but he couldn't pick up that breaking ball. Delivered, actually that was the heater, excuse me, from Ferrone as he gets the second out. Now 2 gone, and Ashton Larson standing in, 5-hole hitter who flew out to center field his first at bat. That one almost hit him. It did. Clipped him on the leg. The breaking ball just got the gray pants, and Ferrone frustrated. So after getting a big play in center and then a strikeout, gives a base up. That's a breaking ball that didn't.
If you're going to get hit by a pitch, you'll take that one. Off-speed pitch on, you got a little bit of muscle in there.
Still 2 out, but now a runner at first, and Michael Braswell standing in. Popped out to second, his first at bat. Nice block by Gassetti to hold the runner at first.
For Greg Ferrone, last outing against Mississippi State only went 3 innings. Now, Chris alluded to that team was battling the bug, and so everybody was on short duration on that. But the prior week had his longest outing, going 7 innings in the win against Ole Miss. So for Greg Ferrone, if he can stay out of trouble, needs to go the distance for the Tide.
See if Jay Johnson starts Ashton Larson, who is 6 for 6 in stolen bases on the year. 2 outs. They perhaps start the base runner. Trying to put one in a gap somewhere. Another good block by Gassetti as the count goes to 3-1.
And good opportunity right here for possible get the runner in action.
Off speed, tap left side. Tough play for Miller, can't make it. And the Tigers have 2 aboard now with 2 out. That'll be an infield hit for Braswell. And I would have to agree with the official score on that one. I don't think Miller gets him, even if he fields it cleanly.
That's a single all day right there. Braswell's got good wheels. I'm with you. I don't think he makes the play, even coming up with it clean.
So a big opportunity for the Tigers here. 2 out rally, a hit batsman followed by an infield single. Now you got the reigning freshman of the week in the Southeastern Conference, Stephen Milam, standing in. Popped out his first at bat. Great catch down the first base line in foul territory by Will Hodo. Ended his at bat a little bit early. 1-0 from Ferrone. That one is laced towards center field. That'll get out for a base hit. Touching third, heading for the plate and scoring will be Larson. The throw comes to third base, but it is late as Braswell arrives safely, and now definitively LSU has a 2-1 lead. And it's amazing how an inning can unravel. Not completely so far anyway, but you're cruising and all of a sudden now you're down a run.
There's a fastball that hung up in the zone. Milam continues his hot hitting, and as you alluded to, Chris, prior SEC Freshman of the Week, you typically get SEC Freshman of the Week due to getting hits, but Coach Johnson has talked about his
add to a 2-1 advantage here. Paxton Kling, the sophomore center fielder, takes ball 1 down and in. Well, this still fairly early in the game. We're only in the top of the 4th, but this could be a big at bat right here.
I think that's why Coach Jackson's going out there. Fresh restart, catch your breath for Greg Ferrone. How do you want to approach this right here?
Boy, gloved beautifully by Miller, but he has no play. A run will score, and it's now 3-1 LSU. He did a fantastic job of snaring that one, but just lost his balance as he was getting ready to plant and throw. And another tough break for the Crimson Tide.
Full layout right there. Couldn't get the exchange out the glove. Couldn't make the play, but he might have saved a run in stopping that one going to the corner.
Exactly right. Milam very well may have gone all the way home on that one if it gets down in the corner. Instead, he stands at second as Alex Milazzo stands in, fouls one off, and the count evens at a ball and a strike.
It's just if you're Greg Ferrone right here, you got to find a way to shut the door, limit the inning, and keep the game close.
2 balls and a strike to count again. This started with 2 outs, nobody aboard. A hit batsman, an infield single, a shot up the middle, and then another infield hit. And suddenly 2 are across as that one is swung on and missed. And the count evens at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Milazzo waiting as Ferrone deals high with a fastball, and it's a full count at 3-2.
And if I'm Milazzo right here with a 3-2 count, I got to believe that Greg Ferrone is going to come with a fastball.
The payoff with the runners going. Slap fouling out of play right side. Again, just looking around the Joe. There are some vacant seats. But, man, this is a great Friday night crowd. Again, the students are done for the semester. This is back to being a small town again as that one is hit sharply toward left center field. Long run, McCants dives and makes another grab to rob LSU of at least 2 runs. Second web gem of the frame for TJ of at least 2 more. As swinging at the first pitch and hitting it to deep left field, Toto. Warning track wall off the top of the fence, and that is going to be a double for the Alabama first baseman. We talked about the sunlight being very, very challenging for the left and center fielders with the shadows falling, but not complete. Pearson gave a great effort, but couldn't get the glove on it. And Hodo almost got a homer. Instead, he gets a stand-up double.
You see right off the bat, Josh Pearson tracking it, doesn't think it's going to be that far, and then you see him try to turn it on late, but that ball just kind of lingered and kept going. Tide needed that to start the inning.
And I'm going to guess he'll hear it from the dugout. You know, we gave you those shades for a reason. As that one's hit sharply to first. Nice play by Jones, who's been the star of this one. 2 hits and a couple of nice plays defensively. But Bama does get the run over to third as the ground ball off the bat of Cade Snell does put a man 90 feet away with 1 out. Mr. McCants coming to the plate. He had a bunt single his last at bat. And he has plated the only Alabama run of the game so far. Big at bat right here as that one is in there for strike 1. Right now it's unquestionably, from an offensive standpoint, I think, Jared Jones who's the player of the game. But McCants can get himself into player of the game consideration. That one's sinking towards left, and it's going to be caught, but tagging from third. Here comes the throw. It's not in time. Hodo tagged at third, the sac fly from McCants, and Alabama's back to within a run. I think they're going to appeal at third, and why not? Did he call him out? No, it's the third base umpire saying that's not my call. That is the responsibility of Seth Buckminster, and he said, nope, didn't leave early. And I didn't think that was the case in watching it. I'm not sure LSU did either. That may have just been an answer to the challenge Alabama had that was successful in the third inning.
Tide's doing a great job of manufacturing their runs. You saw in the second inning, TJ McCants steals the bag going first to second with 2 outs, get a hit. Then you get Cade Snell, move him over with 1 out, and then you find a sacrifice fly right there. That's just good baseball right there. And you got to execute on those to have a chance to win on Friday night.
Gassetti ahead in the count, 2-0. He struck out on 3 pitches, his first at bat. Takes that one for a called strike. Get a beautiful night in Tuscaloosa. Just a few clouds dotting the landscape, but otherwise beautiful. That one misses the mark, and it's 3-1. Big cut there from Gassetti, trying to tie it up, but came up empty. And it's now a full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes as Jump tries to battle back. Here comes the payoff, and that one is laced to left field for a base hit. Gassetti continues the tear that he has been on in the last couple of weeks. First hit of the night. But adding to that 325 season average.
Nice piece of hitting right there by Gassetti. Got beat on a country fastball. Gage Jump just blew one by him, battles up with 2, gets an off-speed pitch and hits it through the 6-hole.
And Coach Yeski certainly fits in that category as the breaking ball starts the at-bat to Hameter low and away. Hameter's only had 46 at-bats on the year. 283 average now. That one's going to get to the backstop as it gets past Milazzo. I think that'll be a wild pitch, even though Milazzo will tell you, I should have gotten more leather on that one.
Milazzo's been one of the stronger catching defenders for the Tigers. Split time with Brady Neal, who we might see as well as the other catcher, but yeah, just one got away.
It's a wild pitch, but one he feels he should have gotten, and that put the man in scoring position, and it'll get him to the plate. The throw is going to be cut off. The catcher coming up, Milazzo, to get that one, but wow, the wild pitch put Gassetti in scoring position, and then Hameter able to get one through. It was off the glove of Milam, but it gets the job done, and the Tide is not at the score at 3 apiece.
Hameter continuing to see the ball well, shoots it in the 4-hole. Milam almost comes up with it, just can't get to it. Tide has tied the game.
Back-to-back plays, back-to-back pitches where LSU's just not able to knock the ball down. If they do in either case, the run's still not on the board for Alabama. Don't have to field it cleanly, just knock it down. Not that either one was easy to do, but both of those guys will tell you, man, I probably should have kept it somewhere around me, and that would have kept Bama off the board. Evelyn takes that one outside. It's 2-0.
And we see in the SEC standings, we talk about how every single team, you see their records and they're split few games, and there's small things like you just mentioned where you're able to knock down a ball or one pass ball cause the game to get tied. These are these small battles within a game, especially on Friday night. You got your best pitchers on the mound. Got to be able, you can't have those small mistakes. The good teams are always going to capitalize.
My mistake a moment ago. It's just now 2 balls and no strikes to Evelyn, who grounded out his first at bat. Throw over and keep Hameter close to the bag at first. Looking at the West, Arkansas, A&M at the top with Mississippi State still hanging around, but this is big for the middle of the pack and also the postseason picture. Huge series in Tuscaloosa as Evelyn chops that one foul. It's 2-1.
We talk about building your resume, how big these games mean. It's also something about just getting momentum of feeling like you're playing your best baseball with the last 2 SEC weekends. You're on the heels of the SEC tournament. You really want to start to feel like you're playing your best baseball.
2-1. High and tight. And Evelyn is ahead in the count. 9-hole hitter with the top of the order, and Gage Miller due up, and the key word is due. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Miller, a .379 average, despite failing to reach in his first 2 at-bats. He'd love another chance. He'll have to wait a moment, though, as that one clips the outside corner. Beautiful pitch from Jump, and it's now a 3-2 count.
That fastball caught the outer half.
That one's lifted foul and out of play.
Chris, you talk about Gage Miller trying to get out of a funk at 0 for 2. That's how good you know you are as a hitter, trying to get out of a 0 for 2 slide. And Gage Miller, all offensive production leader for this Alabama offense.
Hamiter should get an early lead over there at first. Payoff, popped up. Left side of the infield, should be easy for Braswell. Shortstop is there. He may have your team is something we talked about a good bit in the last week alone, but I guess pretty evident with what we just saw in the last half inning, scratching across 2 more runs to tie it up at 3.
No doubt. I mean, just tough at bats. There's no secret, man. Gage Jump's really good, man. It's a really, really good fastball. It's got some funk to it. And, you know, there in the, whatever it was, the 3rd inning, he really started pitching a little more. It wasn't just, here's my heater, come get it. He's mixing in a good changeup, good breaking ball, tons of strikes. I mean, not giving us anything for free, but, man, we had some tough at bats right there. You know, did a good job executing that to get that first run. Then Hamey with a huge swing there to kind of tie back up. So boys are fighting, and shoot, I've been in the SEC long enough now. I know this is what usually happens. You're sitting here in the 4th or 5th, and it's a tight game, and it's going to be who can execute down the stretch.
Coaches, David, you talked about manufacturing runs. You got McCanson stealing a bag, and then you move a guy over Cade Snell, get a sac fly, and then you take advantage of some small mistake with the pass ball. You talk about taking advantage of those key opportunities, these small battles in a game.
No doubt. I mean, when a guy's going like Jump's going right now, you're gonna have to manufacture a little bit. You're probably not gonna go hit off him with the way he's throwing the ball right now. So you got to be able to execute and manufacture. And we talk about that. You know, even if we don't get that second run there when they score, we answer back. And whether it was 1, 2, 3, doesn't matter. We had to respond, and the boys did. And here we are deadlocked here in the top of the 5th.
Coach, we appreciate the time. Always good to talk to you. Thanks so much.
Thanks, boys. Roll Tide.
Rob Vaughn, the head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide, joining us his first year in Tuscaloosa after winning the Big Ten title each of the last 2 seasons at the University of Maryland. Breaking ball drops into White to get the count to 3-1. He walked his last time up. He grounded out to short to start the game. Lifts that one towards deep right center field. McCants looks up, and that one is gone. Off the top of the bullpen wall, and when it left the bat of White, Ferrone knew it was trouble. And he touches third base clearly and will score. And it is a 4-3 Tiger advantage. I tell you what, that is indicative of what that guy means. He feels like he cost his team a run, but he makes sure to get it back here.
He got it back for sure. That's the one thing with Tommy White. He's got power to all fields, and he absolutely drilled that one. And when you've hit a career 71 home runs now, you can have a little bit of fun with that one hitting third base.
I think everybody enjoyed that, even the umpires, because he didn't really argue the fact that he missed. He's just making sure he showed, I got it this time. A strike to Jones evens the count at 1-1. He still has the most impressive home run in the game. The shot over the back of the bullpen in left center, and he continues to swing the bat well. Hitting this one down the line, it's going to get to the wall. He will dig for second. He will arrive easily. Well, he's a triple away from the cycle now. How about that? Check that. I'm sorry. He still needs a base hit and a triple because he's greedy. He's got 2 doubles to go with that rocket shot. in the first.
You got that literal third base on your mind.
That's exactly right.
You see right there, while the Tigers dropped a couple runs the last inning, they're right back in it with the top of their lineup in Tommy White and Jared Jones.
If this were baseball poker, 2 doubles would equal a triple, wouldn't it? If there was such a thing?
Depends on how much do I believe you?
Okay. Well, you've known me a long time. That would be wise on your part not to. As the conversation will go on to the mound, and I'm guessing it's probably just to buy a little more time for the Alabama bullpen. I'm going to guess we'll see Jason Jackson come out in just a moment, as Matt Gassetti is in no rush to get back to home plate.
And this is one of the players we talked about in Josh Pearson. Coach Johnson calls him the security blanket for the Tigers. A big time at bat right here with guys in a guy in scoring position right here could really open it up right here.
Well, the Tide is going to stay with Ferrone for the moment as he misses low with a breaking ball. Pearson lined out to center field in the 4th. It was his last at bat. He had a fly out to left in the 1st. That one's in the dirt. It goes to 2-0. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball from Pearson. Pretty good pitch right there on the part of Ferrone. I mean, you're down 2-0. You've given up a rocket, a double. Nobody out here in the 5th inning, and you come back 2-0 and throw that hook.
I think that just shows you the confidence. Tonight, he feels really good with the slider. I think he understands good fastball hitter in Pearson.
Chops that one foul. The count evens at 2-2.
Big at bat right here. Ferrone can find a way to get this out right here without Jared Jones getting to third with 1 out. Got to find a way to get a strikeout. If you're Pearson, got to find a way to get the ball to the right side.
There's a roller to the right side, right on cue. Eblin almost snared that one too quick. I was thinking for a moment that that one was going to go off the glove. There was a lot of snow cone on that action.
Nonetheless, very nice at bat. Not very pretty, but that's doing a job and getting it to the next guy in Travinsky.
Good piece of hitting indeed from Pearson, and now Travinsky, who's 0 for 2, trying to get something to the outfield. And he's likely going to do it against somebody other than the left-hander Greg Ferrone with a righty.
Against Troy and Mississippi State last week, starting to get more confidence in himself, and the coaches are starting to rely on him a little bit more. This is a great matchup for him, righty on righty. See what Austin Morse can do for the Tide.
Big breaking ball again. Both of those sweeping curves gets him ahead 0-2 to Travinsky.
Fastball's going to sit in that 92, 93, and you saw sliders, and he will work in a changeup against the lefties. This is one of those high leverage points where it's a better matchup, and Austin Morse can give you multiple innings if needed.
Another good breaking ball, but this time Travinsky able to get a piece of it to keep the at-bat alive. So a ball and 2 strikes. 1 out, a man at third. Fastball low and away. And it's 2-2. You got Hodo playing even with the bag at first. Everybody else basically straight up. Breaking ball fouled back, and it stays at 2-2.
Good fight right here. Travinsky with 2 strikes. Trying to keep the ball in the middle of the field. Get a sacrifice fly. If you're Austin Morris, might be going back to that slider.
2-2 again. Fastball just missed the mark. Morris thought he'd snuck that one by.
Good pitch right there. Had a little run coming back. Just couldn't get the call right there.
Did Gassetti move the mitt too much? Was it too loud?
I didn't think it was too much. I just think it was one of those where it was one of those tweener pitches.
Yeah.
And sometimes your reaction is a little bit more when you know it's one of those tweener pitches.
Payoff. Lifted foul back and out of play again. Not criticizing, just I thought maybe the extra move at the end may have at least made Seth Buckminster think, all right, this wasn't a strike. Maybe he moved it just a hair too much. Again, the payoff for Morris, and that one is lifted towards deep left field. Long run, Patrutz, warning track, makes the grab, but tagging at third, scoring easily will be Jones, and a nice at bat for Travinsky.
At bat right there. Good pitching right there by Austin Morris. Travinsky's got a lot of power, limiting the damage right there of what you got to do. Find a way to get out of this inning.
Morris missing low again. Fly out to center for Larson, but a big at bat in the 4th. A 2 out, nobody aboard, hit by pitch. He would come around to score a big run. He gets a big 2 out hit here. Just what you want to do with a 2-0 count. You get a strike, hit it hard, see what happens, and that one gets through the hole on the right side.
Both teams tonight, you've seen some really good execution of baseball offense. You've seen some bunt, steal, sacrifice fly, good at bats, moving runners over. You've also seen some offense. So you've really seen it all by both squads.
That one smoked toward left center field. It's going to get down. It'll be cut off by McCants, and pulling in at second, sliding in with the double, will be Braswell. His second hit in 3 at-bats. He singled and scored in the 4th. He follows it up with a 2-out double there, and the Tigers have got something going again here in the 5th.
It's a fastball that just got a little too much of the zone right there. Braswell knows what to do with it, keeping the inning alive and trying to stretch it out for the Tigers right here in the 5th.
Two on, still 2 out. In the switch hitting, Stephen Milam at the plate. RBI single his last time up. Popped out in the 2nd. You see his numbers, or the numbers for LSU. 7 of 8 with advancement opportunities so far. Making the most of those. 1-1. Breaking ball in there for a strike as Morris gets ahead. We talked about this earlier. I think it was in maybe the 4th inning. But minimizing damage can be awfully big. Down and away evens things up at 2-2.
That stat line you're talking about, the advancement opportunities, that's a big stat line from a standpoint of Friday night, what we're talking about. Best pitchers on the mound for LSU. They were able to run Greg Ferrone out of the game.
A big breaking ball for a called 3rd strike as Morris is finally able to.
Back in, what a tremendous player he is for the A&M Aggies.
Fastball misses high. And 1-0 the count to Gage Miller. Alabama getting to bring the top of the order to the plate to start off the frame. And let's see if Miller can get his first hit of the night. He's popped out and grounded out. 2 trips so far. It's the bottom of the 5th, but Jump's only thrown 63 pitches so far. 64th is pop foul backing out of play, and the count goes to 2-1. Another one in the dirt. Miller gets ahead 3-1.
And Gage Jump has been doing a great job of working the count to his advantage. He worked very few 3-ball counts. If you're a hitter, you got to be ready to go in the box.
Gage Miller's been ready this year. 379 average before he draws the walk. That is the 23rd free pass that he has been issued this year, and it puts the tying run again at the plate for Alabama with nobody gone. Ian Petrutz stands in. He singled in the first, struck out in the third. Expecting a bunt. Didn't show one there. You got White playing almost on the grass at third, right on the edge of it. Breaking ball of beauty, clipped the outside corner as it went by, and it's 1-1.
You might see him now when he's in a hitter's count not be bunting, but if a 1-1 type of count, maybe a possibility of laying down a bunt.
That one's fisted foul back and out of play. And the count goes to 1-2. A ball and 2 strikes. Miller at first, nobody out here in the Bama 5th. Fastball high and away. You could tell that one at the eye level, Petrutz really wanted to pull the trigger, but was able to lay off of it. Two. Downstairs, a nice block by Milazzo, holding Miller at first, but the count now full at 3-2.
Good at bat right here by Petrutz. You heard Coach Rob Vaughn talking about Gage Jump's release. It's a little bit unconventional. It's hard to pick up, but coming through the third time in the lineup, this Tide offense is starting to see it in the zone.
Payoff, popped him up. That could be an easy play on the infield for Milam. Second baseman going out a few steps onto the center field grass. And that is a huge front. LeBron 0 for 2. Fielder's choice and a strikeout so far for the freshman. Breaking ball called a strike as LeBron showed bunt. But I think he was taken the whole way, don't you?
I do think so. I think that was more of a show me bunt.
Oh, 1. Good cut, but tapped it foul.
And you see Jumps off speed, still has good bite on it. Right there in the 5th inning, you start to see, as games continue on, that slider off speed pitch starts to have that, not as much as tilt, but Jumps continue to have that.
Fastball down and away.
And Justin LeBron, you can see, as good a hitter as he is, that tells you how patient he is, hitting well with runners on base.
Couldn't quite catch up to that one, though. Big strikeout put together by the left-hander Gage Jump. Woo! Rising fastball and just couldn't connect.
And that's exactly where he wanted that pitch. We talked about once that fastball gets at the letters on your chest, it's hard to catch up to it.
Hodo takes strike one. Bama first baseman doubled and scored in the fourth, struck out in the first. Mississippi native standing in, trying to extend this bottom of the fifth for Alabama. That one missed somewhere. His count evens at 1-1.
Hodo, with one of the better eyes on the team, leads the team in walks with 31.
Breaking ball in the dirt. Another good block by Milazzo to keep the runner at first base.
Older hitter. Typically, you don't see your cleanup guy leading your team in walks, but he does. Can also lead in a lot of offensive statistics, but base on balls, that adds up too.
Another one that just missed, and it's now 3-1. Cade Snell waiting in the on-deck circle for Alabama. Good lead at first for Miller. Breaking ball drops in for a strike, and it's a 3-2 count now. A man at first. Very slight breeze, but it's blowing out toward right. The left-handed hitter could turn on one. Payoff is due. Miller goes, and the pitch is swung on and missed for strike three. A big strikeout. Glad you're with us for SEC baseball on a Friday night here in Tuscaloosa. Game one of the three-game weekend series. The first full inning of work for Austin Morris, and the freshman righty delivers a strike. Paxton Kling, the sophomore center fielder for LSU, takes another fastball for a strike, and he's down 0-2.
Second inning of work for Morris with a clean inning. See how he navigates this bottom half of the lineup.
Kling had an RBI single his last time up. Did he offer at the breaking ball? No, says David Savage, our first base umpire. Kling an RBI single in the fourth, a fly out in the third. And a good call by David Savage, as he did not offer. They appeal again, and once again, no is the call. And once again, I think he got it right. 5 runs on 9 hits for LSU, 3 runs on 6 hits for Alabama. 2-2 offering. That one got him inside, and I think on the elbow, and a good thing he's got that big elbow protector there. That guard probably saved certainly something that would smart badly, if not create an injury.
Yeah, it looked like a fastball that just got away, and that would have hurt without the elbow. The Barry Bonds robo guard.
Kling saying, "It still hurt, Kindred." It's not that much padding. It's padding. It's not Kevlar. Yeah, that one could have done a lot of damage, though, if it didn't have the guard on it. Here's Alex Milazzo, catcher. He also gets hit by a pitch. Back-to-back that get away inside from Morris. And a couple of free bases for the Tigers to start this 6th inning.
Yep, again, just another fastball that just ran in. Got Milazzo, sets the table for the hot hitting Tommy White.
White, 7 homers, producing 11 runs in 15 RBIs during that stretch. He lifts this one foul and out of play.
Just one of those ferocious cuts. And Tommy White rarely misses. If you're Austin Morris, you got to find a way to limit the damage right here.
That was a nasty breaking ball. You could tell from the reaction that White didn't agree with the call from Seth Buckminster, but that one looked pretty good. 0-2. Little chopper, could be 2. LeBron steps on the bag, fires to first, and boy, that's a huge double play ball for Alabama. Still work to be done to get out of the inning, but you get the 6 unassisted 3 DP.
Nice play right there by Justin LeBron, taking it himself with a double play that the Tide needed right there. Doesn't get any easier, though. Jared Jones, it looks like they're just not even going to mess around and give him a bag.
You don't mess around with Jim or Jared, apparently, in this case, as Alabama will put Jones at first, and he's been so good in this ball game. 3 for 3, a couple of doubles, a home run. And it's not like Pearson has been an easy out. Throughout a lot of the year, but he is 0 for 3 tonight. Fly out, line out, ground out. First and third, 2 gone, and Morris trying to get off the hook. Breaking ball in the dirt, a great stop on the part of Alabama's catcher, Matt Gassetti, and probably a base running miscue over at first base on the part of Jones. Boy, you talk about giving up your body.
Yeah, Matt Gassetti, over his career at Alabama, seems to get he has worn it in so many different ways, off his neck, off the leg, shoulder, and that's why he's their everyday catcher. Can swing the bat, but does so much behind the plate.
2 balls and no strikes, and that one is rolled to the right side. They've got the shift on, and LeBron able to make the play. Well, 6 unassisted 3, and then
consistent, and he's gotten better as this game's gone on, and that's what you have to have with a Friday night starter.
You got to be able to get the strikeout when you need it too, and you see there 30 in the last 24 innings. That has been the case for him. Here's Cade Snell leading it off for the Tide here in the bottom half of the frame, and that was a big half inning. If you're just joining us, Alabama had back-to-back hit batsmen. Austin Morris plunking back-to-back hitters for LSU to start the frame, then gets a double play ball as Snell rips that one down the line. It'll get to the corner, and he will easily have 2. And will drop anchor there to give Bama the leadoff double here in the bottom half of the 6th. But back to the top half of the inning. A double play ball with the leadoff spot, the order, and then a ground out of their most dangerous hitter tonight. And that's why a hit like Snell's has such meaning. Instead of being down 4 or 5, now you got the tying run coming to the plate here in the 6th. And Snell earning his spot in the lineup every day with numbers like that.
Ever since they've supplanted him in the lineup, he has been a guy that's been in steady Eddie for them, a guy that they're relying on. He can bring some power, but also knows the situation and puts together good at-bats. Another similar situation, TJ McCants coming up right here.
He's had a couple of huge catches tonight, but a tough one there. Pops it up. Could be a tough play, though. They can't find it, but what a grab by the shortstop, Braswell, with his back to home plate. Normally the center fielder, Kling, would make that play, but he couldn't find the baseball. And what an effort on the part of Braswell. Wow, heck of a grab to keep the runner at second and get the first out here in the inning.
Runners in scoring position. The thing about Gassetti is, obviously he's been a good fastball hitter, but he's a two-strike hitter that doesn't get overwhelmed, stays in the middle of the field, and it's been a really good last 3 or 4 weeks for him.
Gassetti digging in as the 88th pitch of the night is going to be thrown by Jump, and it misses high for ball 1. One-0. Lifted foul and out of play right side. 1 ball, 1 strike. One. Another good cut, but he's down 1-2. He hadn't gotten fooled. He's just been off a tad on the timing.
And that was that fastball right there. Coming out the hand, Gassetti looks like it's right at the belt, and it just keeps rising, and you can see how you foul that ball off. You've seen that a lot tonight.
1-2. Good job just fighting that one off to keep the at-bat alive. Jump from the stretch again. The 1-2. Outside, 2-2. You just get the feeling. We've got a lot of baseball left. This is a very crucial at bat here in the bottom of the 6th. Two. Popped him up. Foul ground. Will it stay in play for Jones? First baseman near the netting and not able to get there. Did that hit the light? That is maybe
like
5, well, I would say more like 7 or 8 feet up the pole there on the right side of the infield.
It did. I think Jared Jones makes that play. It went off the top of that.
Is it almost like a security light?
Light.
Wow. There it is. There may be a camera in there too, actually. Yeah, I'm not paying for that. Here comes the 2-2 again. Gassetti takes it for a called 3rd strike. What a pitch from Gage Jump. And he records his 7th strikeout of the night.
He just froze him right there with a fastball. Just said, I'm coming right at you right here. Gage Jump continues to
making his 19th, or actually his 18th, excuse me, appearance on the year. And a little check swing that could be trouble coming over. Little fires in time for the out. Boy, Hammeter, an excuse me swing. I thought it was going to be trouble, but White, after 6, guess what? They lead right now. Chopper to 3rd. Gloved by Miller, and he's able to make the play in time to get Travinski for the out. Travinski 0 for 4 with an RBI on the night now. Had that sac fly RBI in his previous at bat. Now here's Ashton Larson, singled, hit by a pitch, and scored a run tonight. Bama hoping that Morris can get them through this 7th inning and then swing the bats effectively, as that one swung on and missed. But if nothing else, he's done a good job of chewing up some innings after the starter. And this one was chased for the Tide, Greg Ferrone, after 4 1/3. Just missed the mark there as the count goes to 2-1.
Yeah, Morris entering his 3rd inning of work. Continued to throw his pitches for strikes. Last inning had a couple of fastballs that got away from him, as we discussed, with the 2 hit by pitches, but he worked out of getting some ground balls for double play.
Line softly, gloved nicely by Hodo. And the second out is recorded here in the LSU 7th.
And that's one thing, as Morris being a redshirt freshman, you'll continue to learn. It's good having strikeout stuff, which he does, but sometimes let him put it in play. Let your defense work, limiting your pitch count, and find a way to get out of innings. It's a good start to this inning.
Breaking ball to Braswell, drops in for a strike. He's had a good game. He's been really good defensively, but he's also had a couple of hits and a run scored tonight for the Tigers. 5 runs on 9 hits for LSU. 3 runs on 7 hits for the Crimson Tide. That one's in there for a strike. Looked like Gassetti may have gotten fooled on that pitch a little bit, but it found its mark. Just the reaction, I may be wrong, but
it looked like he got crossed up there, but Matt Gassetti is one of the few catchers that Coach Jackson has a lot of confidence in. He calls the pitches.
Yeah.
As you can see right there, he's calling the pitch right there. Coach Jackson's giving him that freedom and trust.
There's another called strike, and Morris, impressive here in the last 2 frames. LSU, Bryce Eblin leading it off against Christian Little, who threw 1 pitch in relief in the bottom of the 6th. It was an excuse me swing by William Hameter, and Tommy White charging it from 3rd made a great play to get the Tigers out of the inning unscathed, as Bama had a run at scoring position out at 2nd.
When you get to talk about Christian Little, Chris alluded to 1 pitch, 1 out, got out of the inning. Coach Johnson is looking for the progression in Christian Little. He went 3 innings against Texas A&M last week on Saturday. Coach Johnson said it was his best career outing. And you can see why. He's got power stuff. He's going to come at you with fastball 95, 96, curveball that's going to have that true 12-6 break. He's really developed, and in a moment that the Tigers need him.
2 balls and 2 strikes, the count to Eblin, who's 0 for 2 tonight. A ground out and a pop out for the Alabama second baseman, Greenwood, Indiana native. Trying to get something started for Alabama here in this home half of the 7th. Swing and a miss over the top of that one. Nice pitch from Little to get the leadoff man here in the Bama 7th inning.
You see the bottom drops out right there. The tilt you get on that type of pitch right there, big body and Christian Little. So for Gage Miller and the rest of these Tide hitters, you got to be able to see that.
Here's Miller, who's 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Swings through the breaking ball to fall behind in the count. Miller with 18 home runs from the leadoff spot. Another swing and a miss there, and he's down 0-2, and he had to look real good on either of the cuts.
Like a cutter right there.
Had to reach back with a little something extra on that fastball that misses.
Friday night in the SEC in the 7th inning. Game's hanging in the balance. And the Tigers have a slim lead trying to hold it to the end.
1-2. Not quite. I'm not sure that one got to the dirt before it bounced. Trying to overthrow maybe just a bit. Milazzo glad that nobody was aboard. He could just dodge that one. Don't blame him a bit. That one's hammered, but gloved nicely by Milam at second, and he'll make the play for the out. Hard hit ball by Miller, but a nice play at second for the Tiger freshman. Talk about what he does at the plate, but he is very solid defensively, as we see there.
Another freshman in the middle of the field. Milam swings a good bat from both sides. It also brings the glove.
2 out, nobody on, and Petrutz coming to the plate. The left fielder singled in the first, struck out in the third, popped out in the 5th. Trying to get something started with 2 outs in the 7th for the Tide. Trailing by a pair, 5-3, LSU with a lead in this crucial series opener between the Tide and the Tigers. Two programs that know each other well. 385th meeting. Bama with a 205-176 advantage with 3 ties all time. There's a breaking ball for a called strike.
And as of recently, LSU is.
What do you think, partner? That one never did catch the zone.
Generous call.
That was a generous call. The second strike call appeared to be accurate. Yeah, it's now 2-2.
LSU has last couple of years have owned the series. The last time the Tide got the series was in the Mitch Gaspard era of 2016, and they went on the road and got 2 of 3.
Not how hard, it's where you hit it. Petrutz able to muscle that one through a spot up the middle. Second hit that he's had that direction. The other was hit pretty sharply in the first. That one just had enough juice to get past Milam and into center field. That's a pretty good at bat. You're up 2-0. You think you got it 3-0. Now suddenly it's 2-2 and found a way to still get aboard, keep things going. And now let's see what the freshman Justin LeBron can do against Little. Breaking ball down and away. LeBron is due. He has struck out each of his last 2 at bats. Hit into a fielder's choice in the first, but all of that was against the starter, Gage Jump. That one misses high. 2-0 and some activity starting up in the LSU bullpen, stirring anyway. And now they've got a lefty up and throwing.
As you alluded to, Petrutz has had 2 hits, but outside of that, the top end of the order is Gage Jump as he limited them through his 6 innings of work. Christian Little's, for the most part, doing the same.
Griffin Herring, the left-handers, the pitcher that has started to loosen up, as Milazzo will come out and have a word with Little. Herring, 6'2", 196, and a sophomore out of South Lake, Texas. Famous program, great athletes coming out of there, South Lake Carroll High School. You see Herring, who in conference play has 3 saves on the year with a 2-0 record and an ERA at a gaudy 1.32. It's pretty good in 8 appearances against SEC batters. That's a nasty slider, I believe, at 86 to get the count to 3-1. Swing and a miss there on the breaking ball again.
Same pitch right there.
Yeah.
That venture, if you're going to go to that 3-1, would you go back to it again?
We'll see shortly. The payoff, and that one misses high and tight for ball 4. So Alabama brings the go-ahead run potentially to the plate, and Will Hodo. It's a left-handed bat with a righty who's struggling at least to the last 2 batters. And interesting here. And interesting enough that we will pitching changes. There are a lot of guys who, Alabama being among them with Jason Jackson, aren't afraid to go in the middle of a count. And if he were to pitch carefully to Hodo and fall behind 2-0, do they go to the pin at that point with the lefty up and another lefty in the on-deck circle? That one just missed outside.
And this is the guy the Tide wants at the plate. Very disciplined, as we talked about. He leads the team in walks. He's going to make Little get into the zone.
2 balls and no strikes. Big pitch here. 2 out, 2-0. Now 3 balls and no strikes. He nibbled on the first 2, and I think right there he's trying to see if he'll just chase. .30 offering. And that one's right down Broadway. Cade Snell, another left-handed batter, waits in the on-deck circle. You see 23 RBIs for Snell. Boy, home run cut, came up empty. A little surprised that, no pun intended, Little challenged him right there, but let's see what happens. Payoff pitch due. 2 aboard, 2 out. The 3-2 coming to Hodo. And he hits a fly ball to right, but this one doesn't have much carry. Camping out under it, Larson makes the play, and Little gets out of the jam here in the Bama 7. CAA are not very good at that point. Right now, LSU and Alabama still very much in the postseason picture. You see the Tigers argument on RPI, 35 strength of schedule, top 25 in 14 wins against the RPI top 50. They'd like to take all of that out of the committee's hands and just get red hot down the stretch, and they're trying to do that. That one is going to be over the left field wall for a solo homer from Milam, and the Tigers push the lead to 6-3. The freshman does it again. Second hit of the night. Check that. Yep, 2 for 4, excuse me. Had a hit earlier, now gets the homer just over the left field wall.
Stephen Milam, 4th home run. Stayed on that ball, got it, went the opposite way, logged on to the Gone Network.
Been sitting on that one, hadn't you? Don't hurt yourself. It was indeed gone, as that one misses inside, and Kling will get the free pass. That's the 3rd hit batsman tonight by Austin Morris. David, right now, if you're LSU, you've won 6 of your last 9 in conference play. You've got a 6-3 lead here in the 8th. You got the ace of your bullpen ready to go if needed, but now you may rethink even going to him to start the 8th, given the fact you've tacked on to that what was 2-run lead and looking for more. They'll sacrifice with Milazzo. A great job by the Tiger catcher to get the runner in scoring position with 1 out. And man, top of the order back around. If you make this a 4-run lead, that can set things up, not just for the end of this game, but if you can maybe keep the left-hander and ace of the pen for the weekend in Herring, save him for Saturday or Sunday, man, that is even better for the purple and gold.
You can see they're thinking exactly the same thing.
Heiberger loosening up for Alabama. And Tyler Fay also getting ready in case he's called on. Matthew Heiberger, a 6'3" lefty, a freshman from Oak Mountain High School in the Birmingham metro area. And Fay, a 6'5" redshirt freshman from Nebraska. As that one's fouled off. Going righty against righty with White, but also he hit into a double play against Morris the first time they faced off. That was back in the 6th. Bama's going to put him on, though. They're not going to fool around, or are they? So, been solid in the field, but he'll face a freshman righty now in Tyler Fay.
Tyler Fay making his 21st appearance. One guy that the Tide relies on the most coming out of the pen. And they need him more than ever to shut the door right here.
Inherited an 0-1 count. Gets it to 0-2 quickly. Big sweeping breaking ball. This is outside there, and it's 1-2. White, a .321 hitter on the year, 20 home runs, and 52 RBIs. Good cut at that one, but couldn't barrel it up. It's 1-2 still.
Tyler's fastball is going to sit in that 90-92 range, working in a slider as well that you just saw right there get fouled off, low 80s.
That one's ripped and over the glove of Miller down the left field line. It's going to score a run as crossing easily will be Kling. Pulling up at second with an RBI double is White, and the Tigers push the lead now to 7-3.
Partner, you spoke it into existence right there. Getting that next run, and what a big one that was right there. Tommy White just staying on an off-speed pitch and giving the Tigers a 4-run lead.
So quick with the bat. Absolutely able to work his magic, and Jared Jones trying to do the same. He had a home run in the first. He doubled in the 3rd and 5th innings. He scored twice, and the ho-hum at bat. He drew a walk in the 6th, so he hasn't been retired tonight. Little chopper to 3rd. Miller should be able to get him for the first time, and he does. And there are 2 gone here in the LSU 8th. A little of the air out of the stadium here at Sewell Thomas with that 4th, or I shouldn't say the 4th run, the 7th run crossing, which gives LSU a 4-run advantage.
And to your point, you can think about how you want to move through these last few innings, it's a little bit different than a 2-run lead. If you're Tyler Fay, you got to find a way to shut the door to limit it to 4 runs of difference.
1-0. This is down and in. Josh Pearson, the left fielder, 0 for 4. Fly out, line out, a pair of ground outs so far. Good cut there, but came up empty. As Fay gets it to 2-1. Three balls and a strike now the count. Here's a strike to work the count full at 3-2.
Good comeback pitch right there by Tyler Fay. See if he can finish the job.
That's a well hit ball towards left, but very playable for Petrutz, and he'll make the grab for Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Cade Snell trying to get something going for Alabama in the bottom of the 8th against right-hander Christian Little. Right now, your top 4 in the SEC, all with championships in the league, except for Texas A&M. We'll give them a pass, though, given the fact they are the newest members, or among the newest members of the conference. But it's been a while, you see, for Kentucky, 06 since their last crown. That was when Alabama was the co-champion with Kentucky. Jim Wells' SEC championship squad, along with John Cohen in LSU, excuse me, in Kentucky, sharing the title that year. A ball and 2 strikes to Snell, who chops this one foul. Snell doubled his last time up in the 6th. 2 ground outs prior to that in the 2nd and 4th innings.
Christian Little's continued to show the Tide hitters his plethora of pitches. You saw him throw a changeup to Cade Snell that caught the outer half. Thought he was maybe one batter away from getting the hook, but he found a way to get out of the jam. It looks like there's a possibility if he can stay on track, he might be able to finish it.
At least this frame. That's a soft liner, right center field. Will it stay up long enough? It does not. Or actually, I guess it did. LSU not able to make a play in right center. And I'll be honest, from here it's tough to tell exactly what happened, if it was dropped or just bounced in between the center fielder Kling and the right fielder Larson. I'll find out when you do on the replay. Kind of fisted out there. And it dropped right between Larson, who was coming over short, and the center fielder Kling, who was backing him up. Regardless, a break for the Crimson Tide as Snell reaches once again. And McCants, who's 1 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored, digs in. Late on the fastball as it was cooking at 94.
Just coming right at you right there with a fastball. Back to that play, it seemed like Kling was cheating over in the left field gap, so Larson was really the only one that had a possibility on that play. Just got caught in no man's land.
McCants didn't miss by much, getting one down in the corner, but foul by about 5 feet, and he's down 0-2. Herring and Coleman throwing for LSU as that one is lifted to deep left field. Pearson gives it a look, and it is gone. McCants, the opposite field home run, his 14th of the year. And in the 8th inning, Bama back in this one.
Nice at bat right there for TJ McCants. Stayed on a pitch on the outer half. See it right here. Like a fastball. Stayed on it. Ball's been flying out that way. Good at bat.
Big for Alabama as they have gotten back in this one. 2-run game, still nobody out in the 8th. And Matt Gassetti gets ahead 1-0. They almost got to Little in the 7th. But they're able to touch him for 2 runs in the 8th. They still trail by a pair. It's 7-5. 2-0 to Gassetti. And that one almost got him. Mack listed at 6 feet. If he's 6'1", he's wearing that one. 3-0. Right in there for a strike. High, ball 4. And Alabama's going to bring the tying run to the plate in William Hameter, who I will be shocked if he faces Christian Little. Hameter was the first man that he faced when he came in the ball game in the 6th inning. Got him on an excuse me swing to get the Tigers out of that inning. But Jay Johnson's not going to fool around. He's going to go to the 8th. Singled in the 4th. Both of those produced runs, and he had a check swing ground out in the 6th. Takes the breaking ball down and away there. Nobody out. A 2-run homer from TJ McCants was followed by a walk to Matt Gassetti, the Bama catcher, who stands at first. Tide trying to claw back here in the 8th inning. Breaking ball in there for a strike to even things at 1-1.
You see those wipe away sliders right there for Herring. Tough to pick up for a lefty. Slider's going to be in that 83, 85 range. Fastball's going to be 92, 94.
A ball and a strike and a pitch that missed high. It's 2-1. I think Herring thought that he would see the right hand of Stephen Buckminster, the plate umpire, go up, or Seth Buckminster, excuse me. But he called it a ball. Keep Gassetti close to the bag.
Haven't seen sliders. See if he gets a fastball. 2-1.
That one just misses, and it's 3 balls and a strike. Nine-hole hitter, and Ben Eblin waits in the on-deck circle. Another left-handed bat. 3-1. Clips the outside corner, and Hameter knew it. He was hoping to get a gift right there, but kind of nods his head as if to say, yep, that was a strike. And the count's full, 3-2. Big pitch right here from Herring. Called, 3rd strike. Hameter thought it might have been low. And I don't know if it was low or if he was just fooled. What do you think, DK?
That was one of those with 2 strikes, probably too close to take. That was just a heavy dose of sliders right there by Herring. You know, if you're a Hammeter, when he was ahead in the count, maybe looking for a fastball, but Herring relied on that slider.
Heck of a pitch. One out. Now there's a wild pitch that's going to get Gassetti to second. And it gets Eblin ahead in the count 1-0. That's a break for the Tide right there. Already 2 runs have crossed in this 8th inning. You could get one more. Man, that would make you feel good, however it happens.
If I'm Eblin, you've seen the last left-hander, how slider heavy he went, fastball, finding the release. Probably want to sit on, continue to work aggressive to slider.
Infield back on the right side. 2-0 in a beautiful breaking ball. Gets it to 2-1. I know this is not 1975 or even 1985, but man, a drag bunt sure does look like it would be effective right here. Or a chance anyway. 2 balls and 2 strikes, the count.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, what we've seen from Herring, I know you got to battle with 2, but I think you have to be working to the slider.
And Eblin not able to make contact there. And that's another huge strikeout from Griffin Herring. You see what Alabama's started to say done, but haven't been able to do with men on base. They've left 7 stranded. I got a feeling they'll take their chances right here. It's almost best on best, isn't it? Herring, the lefty, against the right-handed hitting Gage Miller. And he gets ahead 0-1.
I promise you, Gage Miller was probably working aggressive to slider right there, and then he got a fastball right there.
0 for 3 with a walk tonight is Miller. Good cut, but fouled it back. 18 homers on the year with 48 RBIs. He represents the tying run here in the bottom of the 8th. Bama has answered the 2-run top half of the 8th by LSU, but they still trail by a pair at the moment. Could that change quickly? It doesn't there, but Miller keeps the at-bat alive, stepping out of the way, and it's 1-2.
And this is the guy Tide wants at the plate late in the game. Gage Miller.
Soft, shallow left. Can they get there? No, it'll drop. Base hit. Run will score. 7-6. LSU still leading. We talk about Miller and the long ball capability. That was a bleeder, but it found green grass, and Alabama has the tying run aboard in the 8th. He was fooled, but he still got it done.
Outfielders for the Tigers have played very deep, and off the bat, you can't quite read that. Pearson just didn't get a great break on it. Keeps this inning alive for the Tide.
Breaking ball. Misses downstairs.
Trutz had a solid night, 2 for 4, 2 singles. And you see lefty on lefty, Herring feels most comfortable with a slider, and he's not afraid to repeat that pitch.
Trutz comes up empty there, and he's down 1-2. 2 out, 1-2 pitch. Down and away, and it's 2-2. Alabama trying to claw back. Bottom of the 8th inning. They were down 7-3 to LSU, but now it's a 7-6 ball game. Hits even at 11 apiece. Popped him up. Left side of the infield, now behind second base. Braswell circles and makes the grab. Circa in the bottom half of the 8th inning, making it a tight one again. Chris Stewart and David Kindred back with you here in Tuscaloosa as Hayden Travinski leads it off against the right-hander Tyler Fay. First full inning of relief work for Bama, and he's evened the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. Alabama, by the way, will have the 3, 4, and 5 spots due up when we get to the bottom of the 9th. But Fay's trying to make sure that it stays a 1-run ball game. Don't want to put that leadoff man aboard. Hasn't yet. It's 3-2. Painted the outside corner with that fastball at 93. Travinski 0 for 3. Cleanup hitter, batting .279. He does have an RBI thanks to a sac fly in the 5th. Way outside with the payoff pitch. Looked like he's trying to reach back for a little something extra right there, David. And not only did he not get the velocity, it was only 92, but it missed the mark.
It's a good at bat by Travinski. Leadoff walk to try to scratch one across.
Pinch runner at first as Ethan Fry is going to pinch run. So Fry at first. And with a left-handed hitter due up, Jason Jackson coming to the mound, and another visit for the Alabama pitching coach. You can tell who he's got in the pen. I think he had a right-hander that was up. I'm not sure if he had a lefty option available or not. The lead, another big hit off the bat of Stephen Milam. And then Alabama getting a 2-run homer from their center fielder T.J. McCants. They get another one across. It's now a 7-6 game in the 9th. Colson Buchanan on in relief, trying to keep it a 1-run advantage for LSU.
Colson Buchanan's been one of those guys in the back end who's continued to get more work in these high-pressure situations.
Off the end of the bat, McCants coming over and making the play in right center. And that's a big first out here in the LSU 9th.
You see the line on Buchanan Jr. 26 2/3 innings. He's second on the club in relief appearance with 17. He's used to these type of moments. His last couple outings, 2 1/3 against Mississippi State, 3 2/3 against Texas A&M. So he's used to these pressure cooker moments. Tide needs him right here to limit the damage and keep it at a 1-run game.
Breaking ball misses down and away to Braswell. Again, has been so good defensively, and also 2 for 4 with a run scored at the plate. Fastball should be 2. LeBron to Evelyn to Hodo. Bama flashing the leather is the lefty Griffin Herring. First pitch misses. New right fielder for LSU, Jake Brown, has checked in. Bingham in left, Kling in center, and Brown in right for the Tigers. White at third, Braswell at second, Milam the second baseman. Should say Braswell at short, Milam at second, Jones at first, Milazzo behind the plate, and Herring Behind 2-0, but delivers a nice pitch for a strike there. And it's 2-1.
Continue to see his confidence with a slider. 2-0. Justin LeBron not looking for that one.
Fastball away, and it's 3-1. 3, 4, and 5 spots due up for Alabama here in this 9th inning. LeBron, Hodo, and Snell. Breaking ball, strike. And it's a full count at 3-2. The right-handed batter to start the frame, followed by a pair of lefties in Hodo and Snell. Here's the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss and a huge strikeout for Griffin Herring to begin the Alabama 9th. He was down 3-1 and battles back to get his second strikeout. Third, excuse me, since coming on an inning ago.
You see Herring's continued reliance on the slider. That's the pitch he's most confident in. Got a Friday night, 1-run game. True nail biter if you tuned in.
Starts Hodo off with a strike and gets ahead 0-2. Says forget the slider, I'm pumping gas with the 93-mile-per-hour fastball, back-to-back pitches. Rings him up on 3 straight, caught him looking. And he is talking to anybody that'll listen right now, but mostly to himself.
I think he was talking to himself that he got away with one, thinking I got strike 3, but that's probably not where I wanted that 0-2 pitch. Nonetheless, froze up Hodo.
So Snell's the last chance, and he takes ball 1 down and away. Boy, in a span of about 90 seconds, the mood really changed in this place. It was 3-1. You get a strikeout of LeBron and then a strikeout on 3 pitches of Hodo. And a big swing and a miss there from Snell, who tried to tie it with 1 swing. The wind is blowing out toward right. About 15 miles per hour at the moment. Fastball outside gets the count to 2-1. If Snell could reach, T.J. McCants waits in the on-deck circle. He homered his last time up. Snell's had a couple of hits his last 2 times up, and he's ahead 3-1 here. A single and a run scored in the 8th, a double in the 6th. He's 2 for 4 on the night. Laid off the pitch, but it was called a strike, and it's 3-2. Well, there is a big gap on the right side of the infield. The second baseman, Milam, is playing way over and in shallow right. Breaking ball high, and Bama is still alive. The tying run is at first. The winning run is at the plate in T.J. McCants. He's 2 for 3 tonight, a single and a run scored in the 2nd, a sac fly RBI in the 4th. He popped out in the 6th, and then his 2-run homer in the 8th. Of them would have a lot to celebrate on a Friday night. Breaking ball misses. 1-0. They'll pitch him carefully with Gassetti in the on-deck circle. Fastball outside, 2-0.
And typically 2-0, you would think maybe I'd be working aggressive to a fastball, but Herring's really confident with off speed.
2-0. Way outside. He was not going to challenge him there. Would you dare greenlight him 3-0?
I think the way that Matt Cassetti's swinging the bat, righty matchup will be better. You put the runner in scoring position, I think you're taking right here.
McCants waiting. He is taking, and it's ball 4. I think we're all a little surprised that Seth Buckminster didn't say it's 3-1. I got a feeling McCants is disappointed. Boy, was this close. Whew.
It was close, but when you've been somewhat erratic with your fastball this inning, you're not going to get those tweener calls.
So here's Cassetti, and he's hit by a pitch, and that will load him up for William Hameter. Tying run at third, winning run at second. And the senior from right here in Tuscaloosa comes to the plate with everything in this ball game hanging in the balance. An RBI triple in the second, an RBI single in the fourth. Since then, a ground out and a strikeout. Hameter digging in. High, ball 1. Herring, after getting ahead or getting the first 2 outs. Walk, hit batsman. And ball 2 gets him behind again.
And I think if you're William Hameter right here, it's got to be right in the zone.
2-0. There's a strike at the belt. Breaking ball at 83, and Hameter was taken all the way. Understandable. He'd missed with about 5 in a row, maybe 6. 2-1. Lifted foul and out of play, and it's 2-2. The Tigers again a strike away from taking a 1-0 lead in the weekend series. Bama a swing away, perhaps, from doing the same. 2 out, bases juiced. The 2-2. A little tapper, could be trouble. Catcher throws to first. It's down the line. A run will score. The winning run will cross, and Alabama walks it off. pitching changes. There are a lot of guys who, Alabama being among them with Jason Jackson, aren't afraid to go in the middle of a count. And if he were to pitch carefully to Hodo and fall behind 2-0, do they go to the pin at that point with the lefty up and another lefty in the on-deck circle? That one just missed outside.
And this is the guy the Tide wants at the plate. Very disciplined, as we talked about. He leads the team in walks. He's going to make Little get into the zone.
2 balls and no strikes. Big pitch here. 2 out, 2-0. Now 3 balls and no strikes. He nibbled on the first 2, and I think right there he's trying to see if he'll just chase. .30 offering. And that one's right down Broadway. Cade Snell, another left-handed batter, waits in the on-deck circle. You see 23 RBIs for Snell. Boy, home run cut, came up empty. A little surprised that, no pun intended, Little challenged him right there, but let's see what happens. Payoff pitch due. 2 aboard, 2 out. The 3-2 coming to Hodo. And he hits a fly ball to right, but this one doesn't have much carry. Camping out under it, Larson makes the play, and Little gets out of the jam here in the Bama 7th.